Once upon a time, a man approached Buddha, seeking guidance on how to control his emotions. This man struggled immensely with anger and frustration and desperately sought a way to manage his emotions better. Buddha, with a gentle smile, asked the man to sit and listen to a story. Long ago, there was a prosperous king who decided to visit a neighboring kingdom. This kingdom was renowned for its wise king. Upon arrival, the visiting king was welcomed with great honor, and a grand feast was prepared in his honor. During the feast, the visiting king noticed a fly in his soup. Disgusted, he ordered his servant to bring him a new bowl of soup. The wise king observed this and gently said, "Your Majesty, please do not be angry. It is just a small fly, it does not matter." The visiting king replied, "I cannot tolerate such things. Even a small fly can ruin my mood." The wise king smiled and said, "Your Majesty, let me offer you some advice. It is not the fly that ruined your mood, but your reaction to it. You possess the power to control your emotions. Do not let them control you." Realizing the wisdom in these words, the visiting king returned to his kingdom with a new perspective. From that day forward, he practiced the art of not reacting to situations that previously triggered his emotions. He discovered that maintaining composure in challenging situations allowed him to make better decisions. The power of not reacting is an essential lesson for all of us. Often, we react to situations without thinking, leading to negative consequences. Reacting with anger and frustration can damage our relationships and hinder our ability to make clear-headed decisions. However, it's crucial to understand that not reacting doesn't mean suppressing our emotions. Emotions are a natural part of our human experience, and it's important to acknowledge them. Instead of reacting impulsively, we should take time to process our emotions and respond thoughtfully. In another part of the world, there lived a young man named Michael. Michael was highly emotional and often reacted impulsively to upsetting situations. His anger and hurtful words led to many arguments and damaged relationships. One day, Michael decided he needed to take control of his emotions. He realized that his impulsive reactions were causing more harm than good and was determined to change. Michael began practicing mindfulness and meditation, which helped him become more aware of his thoughts and emotions. He also started practicing the art of not reacting. Whenever he found himself in a situation that would typically trigger his emotions, he would take a step back and breathe deeply. He would then assess the situation calmly and respond thoughtfully. Initially, controlling his emotions was challenging for Michael. He still felt angry and frustrated but chose not to react impulsively. Over time, as he continued to practice, it became easier to control his emotions. Michael noticed that his relationships with others improved significantly. He no longer engaged in arguments or hurt people's feelings. Instead, he communicated calmly and thoughtfully, which helped him build stronger relationships. One day, a friend of Michael's came to him for advice. This friend was going through a difficult time and felt very upset. Michael listened patiently to his friend's problems and offered comforting and supportive words. His friend thanked him and remarked, "You always know just what to say. You never seem to get angry or upset." Michael smiled and replied, "It's not that I never feel angry or upset. I've just learned to control my emotions and not let them control me. It's a powerful tool that has improved my relationships and overall well-being." Impressed by Michael's calm demeanor, his friend asked how he learned to control his emotions. Michael shared his experiences with mindfulness and the power of not reacting. He encouraged his friend to try it for himself, and his friend was grateful for the advice. Over time, Michael became known for his calm and thoughtful demeanor. He handled difficult situations with ease, and people admired his strength and resilience. He continued to practice mindfulness and the art of not reacting, finding that it brought him inner peace and happiness. The power of not reacting is a valuable lesson for everyone. It takes practice and patience, but the rewards are well worth the effort. By controlling our emotions, we can improve our relationships, make better decisions, and live a more fulfilling life. The stories of the king and Michael teach us that we have the power to control our emotions. We may not be able to control what happens to us, but we can control how we react to it. By practicing mindfulness and the art of not reacting, we can learn to control our emotions and respond thoughtfully. This powerful tool can help us improve our relationships, well-being, and overall quality of life. So, let us take the time to practice and cultivate this powerful skill and let it transform our lives for the better. Anger will never disappear as long as thoughts of resentment are cherished in the mind. Anger will vanish as soon as thoughts of resentment are forgotten. He who holds back rising anger like a rolling chariot is a real driver, others are merely holding the reins. Holding onto anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. One who conquers himself is greater than another who conquers 1,000 times 1,000 on the battlefield. Do not be led by your reactions, be led by your actions. Peace comes from within, do not seek it without. In a controversy, the instant we feel anger, we have already ceased striving for the truth and begun striving for ourselves. The mind is everything, what you think, you become. You will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. The root of suffering is attachment. If you want others to be happy, practice compassion. If you want to be happy, practice compassion. Letting go gives us freedom, and freedom is the only condition for happiness. If in our hearts we still cling to anything anger, anxiety, or possessions, we cannot be free. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. All that we are is the result of what we have thought. Respond, don't react. Respond with reason, not emotion. In the end, only 3 things matter: how much you loved, how gently you lived, and how gracefully you let go of things not meant for you. He who experiences the unity of life sees his own self in all beings and all beings in his own self and looks on everything with an impartial eye. Happiness never decreases by being shared. We are shaped by our thoughts, we become what we think. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. 3 things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The only way to find true happiness is to let go of your attachment to things and people. The mind is everything, what you think, you become. It is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him into evil ways. An idea that is developed and put into action is more important than an idea that exists only as an idea. There is no fire like passion, there is no shark like hatred, there is no snare like folly, there is no torrent like greed. What we think, we become. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. If you want to fly, you have to give up what weighs you down. If you want to change the world, change yourself first. Happiness is not something ready-made, it comes from your own actions. The trouble is, you think you have time. The mind is like water: when it's turbulent, it's difficult to see; when it's calm, everything becomes clear. The tongue, like a sharp knife, kills without drawing blood. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise, seek what they sought. Purity or impurity depends on oneself, no one can purify another. Let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So, let us all be thankful. The only real failure in life is not to be true to the best one knows. The past is already gone, the future is not yet here. There is only one moment for you to live. To be idle is a short road to death, and to be diligent is a way of life. Foolish people are idle, wise people are diligent. Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Whatever a monk keeps pursuing with his thinking and pondering, that becomes the inclination of his awareness. Do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. Do not look for a sanctuary in anyone except yourself. The only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you haven't found it yet, keep looking. Don't settle. As with all matters of the heart, you'll know when you find it. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path.